Happy Easter. The Lord is risen. Alleluia. Thank you for joining us in this Lenten video series as we look to study, live, and spread the kingdom of God by building it in our own lives. For those who have been with us the whole journey, let's do a quick recap. In week 1, we went back to mission. As the Lord took time away in the desert and was even tempted at the beginning of his ministry, likewise, we too need to get back to what the Lord has called us to from time to time. In the second week, we went face to face with Abraham on the mountain. God had asked Abraham to sacrifice his son, testing whether or not that son, Isaac, had become an idol in his life. Who's more important, the things you like in the world or God? The third week, we went with Jesus into the temple where Jesus got angry. He didn't like how things were operating, and so he got mad enough to do something about it, restoring justice. And sometimes we too need to get mad about things enough to act. In the fourth week, we walked with David, who had been chosen as a boy amongst his brothers to become the king of Israel, but didn't get to be the king until decades later. We waited with him, and sometimes the Lord calls us to wait patiently on his timing as well. In the fifth week, we saw how the grains of wheat fall to the ground and die, and only when they die do they bear great fruit. And sometimes the Lord asks us to change our plans so that his can bear fruit and come to fruition. And then finally, last week, Holy Week. I hope that you chose to set last week apart and make it holy indeed. Now we're in the Easter season. Sure, many of us may not have had the best Lent we could have possibly had. We could have adhered to our own promises more closely. We could have more frequently followed what the church asks us to, and with deeper devotion or with a more sincere heart. Sure. But just like baseball players in the regular season can look back in hindsight on the spring training and see what they could have done better, we might have the same feeling. And sure, let's make plans to make next year's Lent even better than this one. But for now, trust that the Lord gave you the Lent that you needed. There is nothing more powerful in spreading the Catholic faith than being a joyful witness, and people seeing you living the risen life of Christ, living freely in the Lord, is going to be the best banner, the best billboard, the best testament to what happened on Easter Sunday 2,000 years ago. It has been a pleasure to be with you in this Lenten season. Now, let's live together the Easter joy. I'm Father Tyler. Build the kingdom, spread the gospel, live the faith, and study hard as we all live this risen life together.